calls returned. You, sir, understand what the FOIL process are. You're the prime foiler. And you understand the FOIL process. If you want something from the village, you go through the FOIL process. These people are working hard, and they've got things to do. They don't have time to answer your telephone calls and do an end run around the FOIL, if you will. As far as other thing, real quick, the eminent domain, one of the things, I went on his website, one of the things he's suggesting is that if there is an eminent domain case that someone wants to bring eminent domain, it would require a unanimous board vote and then a community vote with over 50% of the residents in favor of the proposal. Bunch of questions, what's a resident, but the 50%, we don't get 50% of people to vote. We don't get 50% of people to show up for anything. So I think that's a little naive, that's okay. You know, the other thing, the government transparency, yeah, we are transparent, but we are not transparent to the point that we stop and take care of Marshall Green when he calls. We are not transparent to the point that when we have something that's going on that is attorney-client privilege, that we invalidate that to make that information available. We don't do that. The other thing, the Citizens Review Board, real quick, there is the New York State Attorney General, there's the Comptroller, and there's the County DA. For anything that is any of these concerns, that if they are valid, any of these concerns can be handled by those people. And in addition, the reason we're here right now, elections. You don't like the way the village board is handling things? Replace it.
All right, thank you. You'll each now get the 1 minute, starting with Mr. Green.
Yeah, so I think most people get it here. It's not 50% of the population that would vote. It would be 50% of the votes would have to be in favor. So if there's 2,000 people that vote, you need at least 1,000 plus 1, and then that would be in favor of that domain. That would keep that in check. I believe that's reasonable. Obviously, it could be tweaked, but some kind of a fail-safe check there, so that way we're not off spending money on things frivolously or pursuing things that might be violating people's rights. Citizen Review Board, it's all over. Making things available online. And by the way, if there's something I need information-wise, I FOIL request it. It's that simple. That's how I got the information on how much money we're spending on lawyers, retainers, and additional spending, which he still hasn't admitted to how much they've spent on the eminent domain case, which every one of you, I think, in here should be demanding that he says that. And then transparency. You know, we have a website now. We have technology, the internet. It's been around for a few years. It's really easy to put things on there. There's no reason why the entire police manual shouldn't be online. New York City can do it. We certainly can do it. There isn't any reason why the money we spend, a tallying budget, and itemize that. It's itemized anyway. We have to have that itemized. Why not put that online so you can go online and see what's going on? We can make a lot of excuses why that can't happen or won't happen. But at the end of the day, it can happen. It can happen pretty darn easily.
Okay. Thank you. And then you have your chance here. Did you want to address any of that?
Just, no. No.
All right. Next up, we're going to, this is the last question. This is on the Wellsville 2034 vision. Can you explain how that will impact Wellsville in a decade? And what will you do in the next 4 years that's going to help the 2034 vision bear fruit in this decade? I am going to start with you.
Thank you. 2034, I think it's critical that we will continue to grow. And by the way, things are pretty good We've just had, or are in the process, I don't know where they are, some could have closed today. There are 3 restaurants changing hands on Main Street right now. There are, which means there are 3 buyers who want to come and do business in Wellsville. And that's significant. We have, we have a couple vacancies, but it's limited compared to what it once was, or what it was not all that long ago. I see 2034, vibrant, bustling Main Street, even more parades. I would love to see even more parades and festivals and that type of thing going on. One of the things that I think we're learning here in Wellsville is that we sell homes a lot better than we sell factories. We don't have a lot of space to create jobs that are non-retail jobs. We do, however, have a great way of life, and we have a lot of people who are moving back here or moving to here who have camps in the area or whatever. And we have a housing, a living situation that is very advantageous. I would like to see us spend time working more in favor of that and supportive of that. Other things, and what that's going to do too is it'll raise property values because you'll create some demand. And another way to raise property values, in my opinion, and a way to fix a few things would be to embrace Airbnbs. Airbnbs are an entrepreneurial type activity. Typically, the owner owns one of these things, and this is a side income for him or her.
All right, and you'll have a chance, obviously, to expand on that in a second. This is on the 2034 vision. If you are elected, explain how that will impact Wells in a decade. What will you do in the next 4 years that will bear fruit in a decade for the 2034 vision?
Yeah, so I'd like to touch on what the mayor was just talking about. I mean, Airbnbs are great. I have a few of them. They're working out amazingly. People are coming to this community and loving the experience on Main Street. In 2 of our buildings, we have 5 new businesses in the last 2 months that have opened. These are new businesses that opened in Wellsville, small businesses, single, maybe a couple people own them, but they're new businesses and new ways to engage our community. But you got to think much bigger. We have to have an experience. Wellsville has to be a place people come and experience. When I moved here in 2004 to upstate New York, and then here in Wellsville in 2006, Angelica was amazing. Like, you walk down Main Street Angelica on a weekend, there were people everywhere, restaurants, I think 4 restaurants, 5, 6, 7 antique shops, cute little boutiques, bakery. The place was hopping, and it was amazing. Now, COVID hit that hard, and a lot of people in those businesses were much older, so that affected the business staying open there. But Wellsville should have that experience. You should come to Wellsville and think, man, I want to come back here next weekend. My kids are at the community garden there on Main Street, and in the back where there's that great paved patio, they have those cute little water features that just squirt up water randomly, 4 or 5 of those, so the kids can run and play through those. They have the instruments there, which are fun and great. So how do we grow more of those things so that people have an experience when they come down? Obviously, the historic district, when that gets approved and moves forward, that will be a draw. That's something we can absolutely build upon. We should market. I feel we lack in marketing our community in a way that brings people here as a destination. And I think, and I say that because you can't do that today necessarily with what we have immediately, but we can start planning what's 5 years look like and what's our 10-year goal. And how's our population going to grow? How's our visitation going to grow? How's the revenue from taxes going to grow? Which then ultimately grows everything else.
Perfect, very good 2-minute mark. I know you had some statements you want to continue on this?
Yeah, I'll change this just slightly. Mr. Green's working as my straight man here a little bit. When he talks about marketing, one of the New York Forward projects, and this was awarded to the village because we had made this application, is for, they call it branding, but it's marketing of the village. And it's a grant for a consultant, and it's 100% grant, for a consultant to help us with a branding all the way from selecting the font on the logo to what are we selling here? Are we, you know, Wellsville, the great place to live, whatever the tagline may be. But that's one of the New York Forward projects that's going forward, and it's the village of Wellsville. It's real.
Okay, thank you, and now, you have your 1 minute on that.
Yeah, I just want to point out branding and marketing are two very different things. I was in this business for a decade with Hope College. Branding is putting together who you are. Marketing is getting who you are out to everyone else so they can come experience it. That's where I feel we're lacking. I mean, obviously, we also need to better define who we are over the next 5, 10 years, but going out there and reaching out and pulling people into us so they want to come here and experience this great little town. They want to settle here and set roots here. That's marketing, and that's what I feel we need to really strategically work on. And those things should be on our Facebook page and our website. And we should be inviting people to come talk at public meetings and say what they think about those things.
Okay, thank you. That's a part for our questions, correct, Andrew? Is that, so far so good? Okay, we're at the close it all over. You know, as a member of the high school coaching staff, aren't we having enough parades with all these sectional championships? I love it. All right, closing statements. Each candidate gets 3 minutes. And again, incumbent Mayor Shayler, you will be going first.
Well, again, I thank you. I hope you found the evening to be informative, if not a little bit entertaining. I really think you all know what I've accomplished since I've become mayor, and what we have accomplished. I shouldn't say what we have accomplished, because certainly I have not done any of this by myself. There's, the $4.5 million, virtually no tax increase, the historic district designation, economy that's turning the corner. Things are pretty good. Mr. Green is Mr. Green. He's a candidate for mayor. He has personal axes to grind that, hopefully will stop him from doing that at the village board meetings. But he is what he is. We all are who we are. I encourage you all, you must vote. You have to vote. And if you've made up your mind, that's great. And if you haven't made up your mind, let me suggest that you do what I did. And I did this in March, and that is you foil, which you're familiar with, you foil the police department for anything related to Marshall Green. Now, it costs you 25 cents a page. I got 54 pages in March, but I think that will help you to make your decision.
Is that your statement?
That is.
Okay. Mr. Green, your closing statement.
So we'll start with some positive things. Overall, the village operates very smoothly. We have an amazing Department of Public Works. I think all in all, other than a few instances, our police department does a very good job keeping our community safe and responds quickly. Our fire and EMS do an amazing job. They're volunteers, so they dedicate their time with nothing in return other than volunteering. So, kudos to all that. And the village will run, the 52 employees will keep running forward and moving forward regardless of Randy or me being chosen as mayor. The question is vision. The question is integrity. The question is transparency. I'm not taking any personal shots at Randy today, and he's taking a few at me, obviously. I encourage you to foil the police department as well, and you'll find nothing. Because it's all been thrown away and sealed because the case was thrown out. Okay? CPS was in a trial admitted under oath that they had said of this truth. These are all things that I have publicly on our website. It's not things I'm hiding. So, you know, that's the accountability I wanted. That's the transparency I wanted. The village board refused to hear me. The village board refused to allow me to address that in front of the public. And so that's part of the motivation of me being here today, obviously, is to make change. So